Our guest is a marketing guru, but he uses spiritualism to guide him. Would you agree with that? Our guest is Robert Clancy, the author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Soul. Robert, would you agree with what I just said?
Absolutely, and you can always find your path. I look at it as we have a career and we have a calling, and if you can line both of those up, you're on the right path, and that's how I look at it. I almost visualize this highway that I'm constantly trying to steer myself to get back onto. So yes, I would agree with you.
I think that about 90%, I've heard it's as high as 90% of Americans hate what they do for a living.
I have a great quote for that.
Okay.
I write an inspirational thing every day on my Facebook page. It started out with 111 fans. Those were my friends when I first launched, but it's now over 280,000 people worldwide. And I force myself to just wake up, clear my mind, and write something, anything positive that comes to me. And
listen to late night health radio. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's it too. And the quote is, they say if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. But imagine if your job was loving, you'd live every day of your life working in happiness.
Wow. No, absolutely. You know, when I go to work, when I'm doing the show, and I think Daryl would agree with me, that when we're doing the show and Daryl does his radio shows, it's the best part of the day. I mean, it is. He just smiled. I know that. So it's a connection. It's, we feel that we're helping people as we talk to people like you, or coming up in the next hour, we're going to be talking about tea and detoxing with tea and how tea can be very healthy for you. I'm really excited about what I do.
I can tell, and I saw in your bio, your mom wanted you to be a doctor. And,
yeah.
And you are exactly where you need to be, because I can hear it through your voice and the enthusiasm that you have for what you're doing and discovering these things that help other people, and that's really what it comes down to.
But in helping other people, you can't walk away from the reality of life. Insurance, car payments, house payments, whatever other payments, that come up. How do you blend both of those? How do you give back and get at the same time?
Well, first, that's a great question, and it comes down to bringing balance to your life, and it is a struggle. I've talked to so many people, and there's people that are very well off, and they're doing well, but we're all still going through something. So it's kind of, you have this even playing field. Doesn't matter how rich you are, how famous you are, how successful you are. Every one of us has a challenge, and it depends on what that is. And obviously, we know that money doesn't solve all the problems.
But it don't hurt.
It helps.
It helps.
And if you can use that to help other people. I had a wise man tell me that once, because I said I really didn't care about money. He said, if you really care about helping people, you need to be as successful as you can be, because it's the only way you can do more.
Absolutely.
And so I've worked toward that, and I took his nod. But those things when, how do you bring balance into it? Or how do you get past those things because you have so many things going on in your life? I find that if you can thread volunteerism into your life, let's say you have a passion of cycling, you're a mountain biker.
Mm-hmm.
You could go to the local Y and start a cycling program for underprivileged youth or whatever, and bringing that volunteerism in for the passion. So you tie it into your passions. I'm a martial artist. I love taking martial arts. So what I do is I give back with that, and also brought my family in. My son took martial arts. I got to see him achieve his black belt, work with him side by side. And I volunteer as an instructor at the time. So, there is so many things you can do where you can just bring this, and then it becomes part of your life. It's almost like, have you ever learned a foreign language, and you're constantly translating in your head? You're saying, what's the word for this? And then you translate it. But when it becomes fluent, you just speak the language.
Absolutely.
That's what happens. And that's what happens if you thread this into your life.
Robert, we only have a couple moments left, and we'll have to have you back. Hold on after the show. I want to ask you a couple of questions. But when you see somebody who you know is absolutely evil, and they're financially successful, I know they may be having their challenges and their own problems, but doesn't that bother you? Because it does bother me.
You need to, I sort of let go of those things that really, it's kind of, you have to release it in love. And they're on their own path, and they have to have their own discoveries. We're each on our own learning experience here. And yeah, there can be people that, we may think are evil, those things that they bring in or how they're doing it. But Andrew, what matters is what's in your heart.
Hold on a couple of moments, okay? Our guest has been Robert Clancy, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Soul. And go to latenighthealth.com. We'll have a link to his website and his Facebook and some information. Really a great book. Enjoyed talking to you, Robert. Hold on. Coming up next, a new segment that we think we're starting, and that is The Truth About Medicine. Coming up next with Dr. Andrew and Dr. Drew, here on Late Night Health.